probably like just let me be on my own, and I don't want to say the way I wanted to say, but he really upset me, and I was really really stressed and angry on him, and that really helped me to pull out such tennis.
During a game, Aryna Sabalenka just kicked her coach out of her box, blamed him for her issues, acknowledged that she had gone too far, and then destroyed her opponent. After an outburst like that, most athletes would fall apart. Apparently, nothing says, "I'm winning this," quite like publicly humiliating your own squad. So she converted that into gasoline. Have you ever been so irritated that you caused awkwardness for everyone around you, only to succeed in the end? Tell me in the comments. This is what transpired. At the WTA Finals, Aryna Sabalenka was playing Jessica Pegula, and things were getting messy. Not only is tennis dirty, but it's also emotionally erratic. It's messy to yell at your coach in front of thousands of people. The craziest part is that it did work.
Out of each other, and sometimes the worst also.
Yeah, you know, I really enjoy playing her, and she always pushed me to the next level, and I felt like today was exchange of unreal tennis from both. You know, in the first set I played, I don't know what I did there, honestly. Like, some of the points were just wow. And then in the second set, she turned it around and she were able to like play that tennis. And then in the third set, I was like, you know what? Okay, I have nothing else to do than just step in and then try to play even more aggressive and put that pressure back on her and help.
Now, let's set the scenario. Sabalenka is playing uncontrollably in the first set. Pegula seemed to have accidentally stumbled onto the court as she hit shots from unusual angles. Even Sabalenka was unable to describe what she was doing. "I don't know what I did there, honestly," was exactly what she said, which, after winning a set against one of the world's best players, is rather amazing. It's similar to doing well on a test you neglected to prepare for, but you'll be paid millions of dollars and the test will be aired worldwide. However, everything abruptly changes when the second set takes place. Pegula discovers something, modifies her strategy, and begins to dominate. It is Sabalenka who is now scurrying about the court as if she's forgotten how tennis is played. The majority of players would worry, tighten up, or perhaps start playing it safe at this point, which is where things become interesting. Not Sabalenka. She concluded that becoming more irate and combative was the answer. But not at herself, but rather at her coach, Anton. Now sitting in the third set of a pivotal match, Sabalenka looked up at Anton Dobro, who has been working with her for years, through many Grand Slam finals, wins and losses, and all the highs and lows of her career. The guy knows what he's doing. From the court, she began to yell at him. Not quite mumbling, not covert annoyance, absolutely. This altercation is visible to everyone in the stadium. The problem with Sabalenka is as follows. She doesn't take any action in the middle. She screams with delight when she's happy. Everyone can tell when she's upset. She therefore went all in when she became enraged at Anton. Later on, she acknowledged that she overindulged in Anton. Not probably, she amended herself. "I went too far," she admitted, which is hilarious and refreshingly honest, given that she said it immediately after winning the match. To his credit, Anton handled it expertly. He simply walked away rather than arguing back or attempting to dissuade her from the box. To be honest, it was a power move to simply walk away. Allowing someone to work through a breakdown on their own is sometimes the best course of action, and that's precisely what took place. Sabalenka was abandoned in her crate. There was just her and her frustration, no coach, no direction. And in some way, this turned out to be just what she needed. She stated it herself, "I was able to play tennis because of it." She was so furious and enraged at the quarrel that she put all of her feelings into her game. She began taking more chances, coming into the court more frequently, and hitting the ball harder. It's essentially her signature style of aggressive, fearless tennis. But let's discuss the real situation here, because this is more than simply an amusing tale about a tennis meltdown. This relates to how some athletes require confrontation to perform. Not everyone operates in the same manner. Certain gamers require situations that are peaceful and encouraging. They need positive reinforcement and gentle support. Then there are players like Sabalenka who seem to need to cause a small PR fiasco to play their best tennis. It doesn't make sense. From the standpoint of conventional sports psychology, it doesn't make sense. But it worked. She had one of the most interesting post-match interviews of the year, won the game, and remained undefeated in the tournament. Renee Stubbs, the interviewer and former player herself, understood everything. As a player, I can totally understand it, because everyone who has played at a high level knows that sometimes you need to let the rage out, even if it's directed at the incorrect person. Stubbs, even when thrown in, are always correct, and that's the bottom line, which is obviously untrue, but is exactly what every athlete wants to hear. The way Sabalenka discussed her friendship with Pegula is interesting. She remarked that they sometimes bring out the worst in each other, which is exactly what transpired. Both players described the match as an exchange of incredible tennis. These two athletes challenge one another to heights that they might not be able to achieve against anyone else. On the court, they are trying to destroy one another in a way that benefits both of them. It wasn't just one player controlling this game. The momentum was swinging madly, back and forth. Sabalenka wins the first set, Pegula wins the second, and the third set turns into a contest to see who can withstand more pressure. And it seems that the person who recently fired their coach has the edge. Solution. Sabalenka's explanation of her third set strategy is flawless. All I can do is intervene, try to play even more aggressively, put that pressure back on her, and hope for the best. That's all. That's the entire strategy. Strike the ball with more force and pray for success. Just unadulterated aggression and hope, without intricate strategies or cautious positioning. And it did, of course, so it was successful. Let's now deal with the big issue. Was it appropriate for her to scream at Anton? Not at all. She acknowledged it several times. But should coaches be aware that during competition, athletes can be emotional, agitated, and even irrational? Yes, as well. Anton decided to depart rather than escalate the issue because he was well aware of this. The way Sabalenka discussed the entire issue was refreshingly honest. She didn't make an effort to minimize it or act as though it never happened. She didn't respond with a corporate, "we've moved past," or "heat of the moment" response. She stated bluntly, "I went too far," and then quickly changed the topic to how it contributed to her victory. Don't make up an apology. No pretending to be someone she isn't. This contributes to the popularity of Sabalenka. She is sincere. You can tell when she's happy. Everyone can tell when she's sad. In front of 10,000 people and a television audience, she will express her frustration with her coach. It's real, even though it's not always attractive. The entire affair also calls into question the relationship between tennis coaches and players. Tennis coaches are seated in the box and are unable to speak during play, in contrast to team sports where coaches are always on the sidelines. Only during changeovers are they able to communicate, and even then, it's not very much. It must be quite annoying for the coach to have to watch a player struggle. From Anton's point of view, his player is having difficulty. When he's unable to help, she begins to hold him accountable. He could have made a major scene, become defensive, or attempted to gesture back. Rather, he distanced himself from the matter and let her resolve it. It requires a great deal of self-control and knowledge of your athlete. It's also noteworthy that Sabalenka was able to make good use of her rage. Many athletes lose it when they become enraged. They begin to make unintentional mistakes, become distracted, and allow their emotions to control their performance. Sabalenka took the opposite action. She transformed all of that bad energy into aggressive, self-confident tennis. Even though it isn't covered in sports psychology courses, that is a skill. It's hilarious that Sabalenka said she'll probably talk to Anton if he's still here after the game, because where would he go? At the WTA Finals, he is actually her coach. but it indicates that she is aware that she must deal with what transpired. The partnership is still intact. It's just tennis. Feelings are intense. People move on once things are said. The way she discussed her strategy for the competition is very interesting. She stated that she must win 5 games in order to receive the trophy, which is merely a statement of the facts, but her tone was one of intense focus. Nothing to celebrate this victory. Don't focus on the drama. Let's go on to the next. That is the mindset of someone who has achieved success and understands what it takes to maintain it. After everything that transpired, the line about trying to play a little bit cleaner tennis is almost comical. For example, you might want to avoid publicly arguing with your coach during your next game. That would most likely qualify as cleaner tennis. But it also demonstrates that she is self-aware enough to understand that even though the chaos worked this time, it is not a long-term plan. Giving your team a little portion of the business, as Renee Stubb put it, is a very tactful way of indicating that you totally lost it on your coach. Then she brings up the vacation remark, since it seems like Sabalenka made a joke about vacations in a prior interview. The woman has priorities, and it seems that organizing a vacation is just as important as winning tennis matches and openly clashing with her coaching staff. It's also important to consider the relationship between Sabalenka and Pegula. These two players know each other's games inside and out because they have faced each other numerous times. Respect is present, but there is also intense rivalry. Even when Sabalenka was playing, Peg refused to give up.
Amazing first-set tennis. She made it a true fight by adjusting and coming back hard in the second. Champions act in this manner. The events of this game essentially sum up Aryna Sabalenka's personality as a player. She is strong, sensitive, and erratic, and manages to turn turmoil to her advantage. She'll go from having no idea how to play tennis to having trouble, firing her instructor out of the blue, and then winning the game. Just watching is draining, so picture yourself as Anton attempting to mentor her. If there is a more general lesson to be learned, it is that athletes are people. They are not machines that operate flawlessly in stressful situations. They need to vent occasionally. Occasionally, they vent their annoyance on the wrong individuals, and occasionally, it truly aids in their victory. Is it perfect? Would sports psychologists advise it? Most likely not. Was it successful? Yes, without a doubt. Knowing oneself as an athlete is also important. Sabalenka is well aware that to perform at her best, she must express her dissatisfaction. If that's not who she is, she doesn't pretend to be cool under pressure or bottle it up. Even if everything appears disorganized from the outside, she has figured out what works for her. The cherry on top is that despite all of this, she remained unbeaten in the competition. Because everything would have gone horribly wrong if she had lost after screaming at Anton. But she prevailed. Thus, the story becomes intense. Instead of the player melting down and losing, the competitor finds additional gear through emotional release. Winning in sports actually makes things better. And let's face it, part of the reason people watch sports is because of this kind of drama. Moments like this are unforgettable, but perfect, polished performances are striking. In years to come, people will discuss these topics. Do you recall the time Sabalenka triumphed despite kicking her coach out of the box in the middle of the game? That's a tale. You have to wonder if Anton will be back in the box for her upcoming match. Given the nature of professional ties in tennis, he most likely will be. They'll discuss it, accept what transpired, and move on. But there will definitely be some weird energy there, at least at first. The entire circumstance also emphasizes how distinct tennis is from other sports. In basketball, a player may be removed from the game if they yell at their coach. The coach's job in tennis is to simply sit there and take it. The dynamics of power are very different. In the end, it is up to the player to perform because they are out there by themselves. Although they're not making the shots on the court, the coach is crucial. Sabalenka's strategy works because it's supported by results. This would be a different discussion if she were frequently losing matches and experiencing emotional breakdowns, but she frequently wins. She has won several Grand Slams. She has held the top spot in the world. Despite its chaotic nature, she has demonstrated the effectiveness of her approach. Thus, Aryna Sabalenka demonstrated that sometimes the secret to success is to yell at your coach and then repent right after and still win. Is it a tactic that anyone ought to adopt?
Most likely not. Is it entertaining? Of course. If you like this chaotic mess of a story, please hit the like button and subscribe for more nonsensical yet somehow effective tennis drama.